You're welcome back. My name is Ivica Cartello. You are watching responsive web design in my React application. I know what data I would present in my web pages. It would be blog. It would be my blog, and data is heading of blog, ID, blog post. It is one thing. Other is how I want that my presentation is. Here it is. It is final product. We have left side and right side. If I go in mobile, it will be all one side. Okay. Gridulator.com web page is excellent helper for me and for you also. Here I want overall width 800 pixels and width of every columns, number of columns. I want number 6 columns. Here is 800 overall and 6 columns. Next, what I must choose is column width. I want 125 and gutter, I want gutter 10. This is preview. Okay. This is I1. It is like excellent diagram, visualization and diagram, very simple, and you don't need a lot of time. Now you know what you want. And now I want that my choose translate in code, in HTML code pattern, in CSS code. Let's go. My app.css is here, and this is how I declare width in percent, not in pixels, not in M, but in percent. Column width is 125. My first grid is 125 pixels. Divide with the width, overall width 800 pixels equal 15.625%, and I write it here with CSS width properties 15.625%. Grid 2 is double multiplicate 125 with the 2, it is 250, plus margin, and margin is 10 pixels. It is 260 pixels. 250 plus margin between two columns. We have two columns, but there is a margin between. It is 10 pixels, and together first column margin, second column, together it is 260 pixels. Divide with 800 pixels equal this percent, and I write it here. Grid 3 is analogy. We have 100 width of one columns multiply with 3. It is 375, and we have two margin, right margin. It is 20. Together 395 pixels divide with 800 pixels. It is percent, and we write that percent here. Grid 4 is column width multiply with 4. 125 multiply with 4 plus 3 right margin plus 30 pixels. It is 530 pixels. Divide with overall 8 pixels, 66.25% right here. Grid 5. Grid 5 is column width multiply with 5 plus 4 margin right. It is 40. Together it is 665. Divide with overall 800 pixels is 83.125%. And at last, grid 6 is column width 125 multiply with 6 plus 5 right margin. 5 right margin is 50, and together it is 800 pixels. 800 pixels divide with 800 pixels is 100%. And here we have one common properties, and we write it here instead, right here in every of that grid. Together, grid, there is margin right 1.25. It is 10 pixels divided with overall, or 800 pixels equal 1.25%. And I write it here. Float left display blocks. We must have this last, it is class, margin right equal 0. Because, for example, if I include on grid 6, grid 6 is 800 pixels, and plus margin right, it would be over our 800 pixels. Because of that, I include this class in every grid on the right side, on the end right side, because I don't want overall, and we can include overall. It would be disrupt all our design, and in every HTML element div on the right side and the right side must have this class also. Here is media screen, max width 705, all grid go to with 100%. Okay. Look at in homepage. Homepage have div class grid 4. Okay. After that, there is div class grid 2, and last 2 class grid 2 and class last, because without this last we would have overlay out of 800 our overall width. Second page is blogpost.js. We have grid 4 and grid 2. Together they cover all 6, 4 and 2 is 6, all 6 columns, all 6 grids. But this grid 2 must have class last, that there is no overlay after overall width 800 pixels. Thank you for watching this video.